and he's standing there with his shirt off, with his shorts on. There's not a man alive who doesn't want to be built like that. They all want to be built like that. Now, the mass and the striations and the vascularity.
This version of him did, but like this version definitely didn't.
Having trained with Manny Pacquiao had to be a huge asset for you.
But he's always bouncing, he's always moving around.
Yes.
Like he'll bounce for like 20-something rounds. He'll do his pads and he's jumping up and down, and he really is an unbelievable person, unbelievable athlete, and a legend of the sport. I think as time progresses, people are really gonna.
In a recent conversation, Joe Rogan openly expressed his admiration for Manny Pacquiao's legendary calf muscles and remarkably shredded physique while discussing the build-up to his anticipated second showdown with Floyd Mayweather.
To be able to have an opportunity like that to spar 250 rounds with one of the greatest of all time. I mean, he won world titles in what, 8 divisions?
8 divisions, 13 or
Crazy.
14 world titles.
Crazy.
It will never be done again.
Crazy.
And as much as you want to see records broken, and I want to break records, that man is a one of one.
He's a one of one.
Yeah.
I mean, when he knocked down Thurman in that fight, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's 40 years old and still can crack and still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, look, the power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power. It's that explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork he gets in position. And all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez. A lot of that sparring paid off, and it did shape me. And I know he did put out a tweet as well saying that I hope the sparring we did helped you in this fight, and straight away.
That's amazing.
And I was so excited. He's a legend of the sport.
He is a legend, and he's such an unusual guy. You know what's crazy about him is his calves.
Yeah.
When you look
Massive.
at that, they're giant. They're like a thigh.
Rogan pointed out that Pacquiao's elite physical shape could become a major factor if the two legendary opponents were to square off once more.
World titles in 8 different weight classes. Who the does that?
And the way he did it, like
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Cotto. I love this school, and the way that he beat Cotto, I didn't think nobody could ever do that to him. And it was just like, bro, what the
Well, his legs, Manny's legs are like tree trunks.
Yeah. And the
It's
hand
crazy.
speed, the power.
Speed, everything.
I just always wish that the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight would have took.
Manny Pacquiao's impressive physique isn't simply a product of natural genetics. It reflects years of intense training, strict discipline, and relentless dedication to his craft.
His pad work, he does his sparring, but then he's on the bag, he's on the shadow boxing, he's there doing the pad work. So that extra rounds just builds that conditioning and that stamina. And that's what I just found, that push more rounds. If the body can keep going, push more and more. That's what I learned.
Pacquiao maintains an extremely demanding training schedule, highlighted by early morning hill runs that have been crucial in developing his famous calves and strengthening his overall physique.
The reason why, because in General Santos, the mountains that he runs and that steep hill, that's why they're so big, because he's always constantly running the mountains. And I was doing the mountain runs with him.
Yeah.
My calves started getting bigger and bigger.
Beyond those steep hill sessions, Manny Pacquiao subjects himself to a wide range of demanding workouts. From extended distance road work to powerful sprint intervals, each training session is built to elevate his endurance while sharpening his speed.
No excuses. So, saya nggak ada simpul dikit pak, jamin. Kaya ma-stroke kasi dito, ma-stroke nilo.
Even with a naturally smaller frame, Manny Pacquiao has trained with such relentless intensity that his powerful physique can be intimidating to anyone.
For pound, he can't be above Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao was a flyweight champion. Not that he turned pro at flyweight. He was good enough as a flyweight to be the lineal champion, the real champion. Now, he didn't win titles in every division. He skipped some of these, but I just want to tell you how flyweight, junior bantam, junior feather, junior light, junior welter,
He's rapping again.
junior middle.
He rolling.
And he laid waste to these divisions. Yeah. He fought great fighters. He never ducked anybody. Yeah. Pacquiao, to me, other than Sugar Ray Robinson, he's still one. Pacquiao is the greatest pound-for-pound fighter who ever lived. I can't put Floyd above him.
Yeah.
Any beef?
I agree with you on that. I mean, I've always had Manny Pacquiao above Floyd pound for pound, and just in the history of boxing, you never heard of a guy that could go from those weight classes and still dominate. Knocking out Cotto, knocking out Ricky Hatton with one shot, destroying Oscar De La Hoya. Made him look like he was nothing.
Joe Rogan praised Manny Pacquiao's greatness, saying it was incredible that he managed to defeat Keith Thurman in his 40s while going up against a fighter still in his prime.
Down Thurman in that fight, I was like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
This guy's 40 years old and still can crack and still as fast as lightning.
Yeah, the power that he possesses, but it's not a thumping power. It's that explosive speed, that explosive power, the footwork he gets in position. And all of a sudden he's landed 3, 4, 5 shots and then he's angled off. A lot like I did in my fight against Lopez. A lot of that, sparring paid off and it did shape me. And I know he did put out a tweet as well, saying that I hope the sparring we did, helped you in this fight, and straight away.
That's amazing.
And I was so excited. He's a legend of the sport.
He is a legend, and he's such an unusual guy. You know what's crazy about him is his calves.
Yeah.
When you look
Massive.
at that, they're giant. Yeah. They're like a thigh.
And I know
Rogan emphasized that Pacquiao's combination of speed, precise timing, and vast experience enabled him to rise above the advantage of youth and continue performing at an extraordinary level.
I mean, he won world titles in 8 divisions?
8 divisions, 13 or
Crazy.
14 world titles.
Crazy.
It will never be done again.
Crazy.
And as much as you want to see records broken, and I want to break records, that man is a one of one.
Teddy Atlas expressed deep respect for Manny Pacquiao's distinctive place in boxing history, noting that age alone doesn't determine greatness, particularly for a fighter of Manny's caliber.
Manny is one of a kind, and I would not bet. I wouldn't be shocked to see him do something that is very, very, could be, very unlikely that at 46 years of age that he could do that.
Atlas also pointed out that Pacquiao is supported by experienced professionals, including trainers, medical staff, and former champions, who would never let him put his health at risk if they genuinely believed he wasn't capable.
Seen him in camp, and that they've seen something special. They've seen a 46-year-old that maybe they thought when camp started, hey, this is wrong. But it's Manny Pacquiao, we're going to go along with and see how it looks. And then all of a sudden they say, oh my God, it's possible. Oh my God, Manny, you're starting to make me think maybe it's possible. I'm going to hope that he's got people around him of that ilk, of human beings, not just professionals, but human beings that have seen something to continue to go forward with this fight. Or if they didn't, would have said, you know what? No, I can't be part of this. So just on that alone, I'm gonna have hope for them. I'm gonna give them credit that they're thinking that.
Roy Jones Jr. has great admiration for fighters who deeply study the sport, and he regards Manny Pacquiao as a master of ring intelligence. He notes that Pacquiao's skill in controlling angles, maintaining distance, and utilizing the entire ring is unmatched. Roy also highlights that Manny continues to train relentlessly. Even when not actively competing, he stays in peak condition. If Pacquiao can bring that same level of preparation into the ring and sustain his energy and pace throughout all 12 rounds, Roy believes he stands a genuine chance of winning.
It's never stationary. Manny's always on the move. You understand me? What has happened in boxing is a lot of people have lost the art of footwork. You understand me? Not many people have footwork. So if you see a guy go out and box like you'll never see in today's time too often, a guy go out and box like Sugar Ray Leonard boxed Marvin Hagler. He moved around, he fought when it was time, he moved when it was time. He understood how to use the whole ring to get a victory. Now guys don't do that. Pac-Man, fortunately, is one of those guys who knows how to use the ring. Nowadays, with how things go, and with Manny being who Manny is, if Manny can get to 12 rounds, Manny gonna win.
For Roy, success isn't solely about natural talent anymore. It comes down to ring intelligence, endurance, and precise execution, all areas where Manny Pacquiao continues to excel.
But Manny has one of the bigger outputs for any fighter of any era. He's a guy that don't mind throwing 3 and 4 and 5 punches at a time. He's not one of those guys that won't throw 4 or 5 punches if he see it. That being said, the only concern I have is how will his legs hold.
David Benvitz regards Manny Pacquiao as the epitome of a complete boxer. He explains that what sets Manny apart isn't just his speed or power, but his overall versatility. From agile footwork and precise combinations to solid defense and acute ring awareness, Pacquiao excels in every aspect. What impresses Benvitz most, however, is Manny's passion. Every punch, every drill, and every training session is executed with intensity and purpose. His camp mirrors that dedication, packed with rigorous preparation, focused sparring, and strict discipline. Benvitz believes it's this mix of passion, skill, and strength that keeps Pacquiao a formidable threat in the ring.
What makes Manny Pacquiao special is that he does everything so good. He has great footwork, he has good ring IQ, good defensive slips, good combinations, and I think most importantly of all, he's in there willing to go to war with anybody. So that's really what makes him more important. The most special thing about him is his spirit and his will to fight. I think Manny Pacquiao at age 46 is going to look amazing in my opinion. He has all the experience in the world. He's seen every single fighter, and if he's coming back at 46, it's because he definitely wants to come back and win another world title. I think that one of the oldest world champions has been Bernard Hopkins when he fought at age 49. So, you know, Pacquiao is barely 46 right now. He's a young 46. So I think, you know, he still has a lot left.
Jim Lampley called Floyd Mayweather's choice to hold off on challenging Manny Pacquiao earlier in his career a strategic decision. He explained that by waiting 11 years for their next matchup, Mayweather allowed Pacquiao to age while he himself stayed in peak condition. Lampley stressed that this extended gap gave Mayweather a clear edge in physical prime, reaction time, and overall preparedness. He pointed out that in boxing, timing and age can heavily influence performance, and deliberately waiting for an opponent to decline slightly while preserving one's own peak is a calculated strategy rarely discussed openly, one that fans often view as both shrewd and controversial.
And Mayweather just did such a smart thing, but also a devious thing. Waiting until Pacquiao was older, waiting until he slowed down, and then...
Devious is not illegal in boxing.
It's encouraged.
Yeah. In any entrepreneurial sport, devious is not illegal.
No.
Devious can be an asset.
That's how you retire with a 50-0
I give
record.
Floyd credit for brilliance, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Floyd wasn't just a smart fighter. Floyd was a brilliant fighter. He was on his own level. And so much so, you know, in any matchup between the great counterpuncher and the great attacker, you know that the counterpuncher has the advantage. He's got more options. He's got more ways of winning. The attacker has to break through the wall. So
Jim Lampley voiced strong confidence in Floyd Mayweather's chances, summing it up with, "Floyd is Floyd." He emphasized Mayweather's exceptional ring IQ, defensive expertise, and fight control, suggesting that even facing a legend like Manny Pacquiao, his experience and mastery would likely lead him to another win.
So in the years before Mayweather-Pacquiao, people would run up to me on the street, run up to me in the shopping center in Vegas, run up to me in a hotel. When am I going to see Mayweather-Pacquiao? And I would say, well, we don't know, but what exactly is it you think you're going to see? Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be such a great fight. No. It's not going to be a great fight. It's going to be like watching somebody pluck the legs off a spider, all right? At a step-by-step method. And you're going to watch Mayweather pluck the legs off the spider that is Pacquiao, and it's going to be pretty easy.
Oscar de la Hoya weighed in on a potential rematch between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao, saying it would be intriguing to watch how Mayweather adjusts this time. He pointed out that while Pacquiao's speed, power, and elite skill set are undeniable, Floyd's defensive brilliance, experience, and adaptability make him a dangerous opponent even years later. De La Hoya added that Mayweather's strategic approach frequently gives him the upper hand, indicating that although the outcome could go either way, there's a significant possibility Floyd could come out on top once more.
Your former opponents, Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, 10 years after the fact, you're talking about running it back. What's your thoughts on that?
It should have happened a long time ago, obviously. I don't mind it because it'll be entertaining. I'm curious to see how Mayweather will react to Pacquiao's style again, you know? Mayweather's Mayweather. He has a great style, great defense. Probably the same thing will happen.
The CEO of Manny Pacquiao Promotions firmly dismissed any critics doubting a rematch with Floyd Mayweather, stressing that both fighters fully recognize their legendary status and the immense value they bring to the sport, backed by a massive Netflix payday. The financial stakes are enormous, but the CEO also emphasized that both Pacquiao and Mayweather have prepared themselves to peak physical condition, ensuring this isn't just a business move, it's a genuine test of skill, speed, and strategy. Fans can look forward to an epic, hard-fought battle inside the ring.
Base guaranteed purses standpoint and the back end, I mean, the deal that both fighters have with Netflix is better than any other deal Netflix has done with any other boxer till today. So
let's talk. Yeah, let's talk about the purses. Can you share how much Manny and Floyd are making?
I can't share the exact number. But let's just say if you know what they're worth, and they know what they're worth, and they know the numbers they've done before. So if the numbers didn't make sense for either of them, they wouldn't have signed on the dotted line, and we wouldn't be where we are today.
Okay, I'll ask one more. Over or under 50 million each?
Over.
Okay, that's a good benchmark to work with.
Yeah.
The first fight was billed as the fight of the century, but it failed to live up to the massive expectations, right? Fans were left with a bad taste on. After the fight, Manny said he had a shoulder injury. There were some lawsuits involved. How can this fight be different 11 years later?
You know, it's very hard to explain this, but these guys are in better condition.
Luke Thomas pointed out that the upcoming fight between Floyd Mayweather and Manny Pacquiao will be an official professional bout, meaning it will affect Mayweather's professional record. Currently retired with an unblemished 50-0 record, Floyd now faces the possibility of extending it to 51-0, taking a loss, or even seeing a draw. Unlike the exhibitions he's taken part in since retiring, this matchup carries real stakes. Thomas also reflected on their first encounter, which, despite enormous hype, left many casual fans disappointed. Pacquiao cited a shoulder injury for his underwhelming performance, and the fight fell short of expectations. This official rematch gives both fighters a genuine opportunity to make a lasting mark on boxing history, reigniting excitement and anticipation among fans worldwide.
Professional bout. It will go on their record. Floyd currently has a record of 50-0. Remember, he retired at 50-0. It is possible he could go either 51-0 or now 50-1, or if it was a draw or whatever. But he's at least putting it up to be part of the professional record. Now, you might say, well, hasn't he been doing a lot of exhibitions since his retirement from boxing? And the answer is yes, about 8 of them or so. I believe he's got, by the way, a 9th coming up in April in the Democratic Republic of the Congo against, of all people, Mike Tyson. Also, just as a fresh reminder, the first fight, I didn't hate it, but a lot of people did. And remember, you'll recall Manny Pacquiao, after the fight was over, blamed his performance on his shoulder. But there was pretty widespread disappointment with just how big the fight was and then how little it delivered. Not necessarily to hardcore fans, although some of that too, but definitely to casual fans who were expecting a little bit more rock.
The rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather is far more than just another bout. It's a meeting of skill, legacy, and history. Both fighters, true legends, bring decades of experience, exceptional talent, and relentless competitive drive into the ring. Pacquiao's shredded, peak-conditioned body and explosive speed reflect years of relentless training, while Mayweather's defensive genius, tactical acumen, and perfect record make him a formidable strategist. With the fight officially impacting Mayweather's professional record, the stakes surpass any exhibition, heightening the drama and significance. Fans, pundits, and analysts are captivated, debating who will come out on top. Backed by a massive platform like Netflix, this clash promises not only enormous financial reward, but also the opportunity to resolve unfinished business, reaffirming why both remain enduring icons in boxing history.
Guy that's had his downs. He's had his ups and his downs. And, you know, he always smiling and always friendly to people. It's like he's so admirable just as a human being.
And it shows, too, that defeats, you know, I love how the UFC is, you know, losses are losses.
Yeah.
You know, boxing has this stereotype where the zero is so important. I'm undefeated, but would you rather see the best fighting the best? You know, You're going to get competitive fights and great fights, but unfortunately in boxing, it's not like that.
Well, the biggest draw in the sport is Canelo, and Canelo's not undefeated.
Yeah, that's right.
So it's one way of looking at it. You know, he lost to Floyd.
Do you think Manny Pacquiao's lightning-fast speed and shredded conditioning can break through Floyd Mayweather's legendary defense? Share your thoughts in the comments below.